The ongoing conflict in Ukraine has presented a complex geopolitical puzzle for the world, and China finds itself walking a diplomatic tightrope. While officially neutral, China has provided Russia with economic and rhetorical support, stopping short of outright military aid. This cautious approach reflects China's intricate relationship with Russia, one that is rooted in both cooperation and competition. China recognizes that a complete Russian victory would have significant ramifications for the global order. Such a scenario could embolden other nations to pursue territorial ambitions by force, undermining the principle of territorial integrity that China itself holds dear. Moreover, a dominant Russia could challenge China's own aspirations for regional influence, particularly in Central Asia. On the other hand, China is wary of alienating Russia entirely. Russia remains a crucial strategic partner, sharing China's concerns about U.S. hegemony and providing valuable resources like oil and gas. Therefore, China has sought to maintain a delicate balance, condemning the war's humanitarian cost while refraining from actions that could jeopardize its relationship with Russia. This precarious balancing act underscores China's pragmatic approach to foreign policy, prioritizing its own national interests above all else. As the conflict in Ukraine unfolds, China will continue to carefully calibrate its response, seeking to maximize its own gains while navigating the complexities of a rapidly changing world. China and Russia share a long and tumultuous history, marked by periods of both cooperation and conflict. While the two countries have forged a strategic partnership in recent decades, deep-seated mistrust and unresolved territorial disputes continue to cast a shadow over their relationship. The seeds of this unease were sown in the 19th century, when a rapidly expanding Russian empire seized vast swaths of territory from a weakened Qing dynasty. These annexations, which included Manchuria and parts of Central Asia, left a lasting scar on the Chinese psyche and fueled resentment towards Russia. Though the Communist Revolution of 1949 brought about a temporary rapprochement, the underlying tensions resurfaced in the 1960s. Ideological differences and border skirmishes culminated in the Sino-Soviet split, a period of intense rivalry and military buildup along their shared border. While relations have improved significantly since the collapse of the Soviet Union, the legacy of these historical grievances lingers. China has not forgotten the humiliations of the past, and these memories serve as a potent reminder of the potential threat posed by a powerful Russia on its border. China's foreign policy is driven by a singular ambition: to reclaim its historical position as the dominant power in Asia. This China Dream, as it is often called, envisions a future where China's economic and military might translate into unquestioned regional leadership. Central to this vision is the displacement of the United States as the dominant force in the Asia-Pacific. China views America's network of alliances and military presence in the region as a direct challenge to its own aspirations. Beijing has responded by aggressively asserting its territorial claims in the South China Sea, modernizing its military at a rapid pace and seeking to build its own sphere of influence through economic initiatives like the Belt and Road Initiative. A powerful Russia, particularly one aligned with the West, would complicate China's pursuit of regional hegemony. Moscow could leverage its own military capabilities and diplomatic clout to counter China's influence, particularly in Central Asia, a region of strategic importance to both countries. Moreover, a strong Russia could potentially act as a counterweight to China's growing economic and military might, limiting Beijing's ability to dictate terms to its neighbors. Therefore, from a purely strategic perspective, a weakened and isolated Russia serves China's interests by removing a potential obstacle to its regional ambitions. While China's geopolitical ambitions are clear, its actions in the Russia-Ukraine conflict are tempered by significant economic considerations. The United States and the European Union represent the largest markets for Chinese goods, providing vital revenue streams that fuel China's economic growth. This economic interdependence creates a complex web of strategic calculations for Beijing. China's leadership is acutely aware that any overt support for Russia could jeopardize its lucrative trade relationships with the West. Sanctions or trade restrictions from the US and EU would have a devastating impact on China's export-driven economy. Thus, Beijing has opted for a more cautious approach, offering rhetorical support to Moscow, while avoiding actions that could trigger economic backlash from the West. Moreover, China's Belt and Road Initiative, which aims to expand Chinese influence through infrastructure investments across Asia, Europe, and Africa, relies heavily on stable and open global trade routes. A hostile economic environment with the West would undermine these ambitions, stalling projects and reducing China's ability to project power globally. Thus, China's stance in the Russia-Ukraine conflict is a delicate balancing act. On one hand, it seeks to support a strategic partner in Russia to counterbalance Western influence. On the other hand, it must navigate the economic realities of its deep integration with Western markets. This duality defines China's cautious and calculated approach, as it strives to maintain its economic lifelines while pursuing its long-term geopolitical goals. The price of war. The ongoing conflict in Ukraine has exacted a heavy toll on Russia, both economically and militarily. Western sanctions have crippled the Russian economy, while the country's military has been bogged down in a protracted and costly war. The economic fallout has been particularly severe. The ruble has plummeted in value, inflation has soared, and foreign investment has dried up. Russia's access to international financial markets has been severely curtailed, and key sectors of its economy, such as energy and technology, have been hit hard by sanctions. Militarily, the war has exposed weaknesses in Russia's armed forces. Despite early claims of a swift victory, Russian troops have encountered fierce resistance from Ukrainian forces equipped with Western-supplied weapons. The conflict has also depleted Russia's stockpiles of precision-guided munitions and exposed vulnerabilities in its command and control structures. This weakening of Russia, both economically and militarily, presents both opportunities and challenges for China. On the one hand, it allows China to assert itself more assertively in Central Asia and other regions where Russian influence has traditionally held sway. On the other hand, it creates a delicate balancing act for China as it navigates its relationships with both Russia and the West. The future is uncertain, and we'll have to see what will happen. We hope that China will find the best way to navigate its interests and also help establish world peace. What do you think? Please like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments below.